Alright, we got paired with Keshav again. Last game was a draw. That was also a Dutch, right? Forgot about it. I forgot about it. Well, let's do something different. Last time I went with this setup. Let's do this setup this time. And G3. Also, my bishop knight might go there and there. Don't know if there's a difference. Probably can go here willy-nilly. Don't have to worry about. Since he goes to the Leningrad, that's not the other one. Then we can pretty safely go here, I think. I mean, I don't know if it doesn't make a difference which order I put my things here and there. We're covering this square pretty well. But then well, my original plan was to go out with this knight this way, so we don't block the bishop up here. Only question here is gonna be that can they play somehow e5 and stop it? At the moment it looks like no, but I assume that if I go here, maybe they'll stick the knight there and then they are ready to bang it through here. I'll take and the knight is here. Queens won't get traded in that. I suppose we are pretty happy there then. I think I can go here. I'm not sure what to do with this guy here yet. Here it doesn't. I mean, maybe I could go here and lock it up there, but since they don't have this jump here, even with the plan of trading here, another option would, of course, to maybe put it here. Play d5, try to use the diagonal here. Wouldn't be the worst. Of course, if I played d5, we gave up the c5 for their knight, maybe. Where it could jump to e4. So, I don't know. I'll start with this move. Get ready to castle. Knight is thinking of traveling here. Maybe d5 and sticking it here. I don't know. Someday maybe here. Like something c5. Queen check. Knight could do something there, maybe. Well, oh, is he ready to play e5? I didn't think about this. Is also a possible way of getting e5 ready. Because you defend your queen this way, so chop, 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 you get the d file. But of course I can again chop, chop, jump there. Is that good? They have this kind of setup. I have a knight there. Not sure where this goes, but it's probably fine. Of course I can just castle, but then maybe he plays e5 and then what are we gonna do with this dummy here? Question mark. Then go here. It's not obvious that it's good there. h6, I have to go back here and then the entire exercise has been stupid. I could have gone there once. Also e4. I could play my d5 now and say no e5s. No e5s for you. But yeah, then maybe he jumps there and there. I don't know, maybe he plays c6 and starts to bite on this. And of course d5 blocks the bishop in, so it's not obvious that it's good. And also it kind of goes against this guy coming here and there anyways. I mean, I could stick my bishop here, kind of trying to discourage this by maybe I'll chop and pop the knight there to exploit this. Is that good again? Who knows? How much of a problem, for instance, is the castles e5 chop chop? Maybe chop chop and then stick the knight here, going for the c7. Guess knight a6, planning c6. Bishop, no, bishop can't go there. There's a pawn. It's probably fine. Alright, I don't know. I'm sticking this here first. Maybe we'll take chop, put this knight here. I know, chop. We're here. Maybe trying to go for the bishop pair or trying to get there or something. C6. He's saying, no, I see your plan. And I'm saying, no, you're not going nowhere. Well, that is unfortunately maybe true. Should we now play d5? I'm not sure at all this is good, but I don't want to actually deal with the e5, so this is disruptive to me. But hopefully it's disruptive for them too. Not sure, like expecting this or just ignoring it and putting the knight to towards the c5 where it's traveling towards the e4. At least this is probably out of question, so he has to go this way. Other moves, maybe he can play g5, but that is risky. That is risky. Oh, wait, this is out of question, because I have a bishop here too. I have to think about the pressure we put on things. It's not obvious. Maybe d5 is actually better than I thought. Now, it's kind of like isolated pawn in a way though. Except I don't have to take with the pawn here if he takes. I could take with the piece. But then this pawn is ready to move again. But at least then he would be creating a backwards pawn on d6. If I take, for instance, here, he kicks my knight on chop. Not much of a backwards pawn yet. And we would have a pretty good looking bishop here. I don't know, maybe it makes sense, but then your bishop is going to be really dodgy there if you play c5. Of course mine is blanked here too, but I don't know, can you somehow make a room for the bishop here eventually? a5. Well, that is another move. Doesn't really solve this problem though, or the knight problem, or the bishop problem. What problems does it solve though? I mean, it does kind of secure the c5 in advance, so can't really kick them out with the b4. It's a bit like some kind of a King's Indian position. I think I'll just castle though. It's not at all obvious I should be reacting with something here, because this is also pretty unhinged bishop here we have to be fearful of. They have to be looking for mine, but I have to also look for theirs. If I play b3, things like this become things. Pop. But in general, maybe I would like to play something like a3, b4, b3, b4. Before he can establish some kind of a strong knight there. But he has to first solve this problem here. And maybe I can like stick the rook here and then get ready to push those. Okay, so now problems. We have to actually make a big decision. If I take with a pawn, then he is free to move with this guy here and there. And maybe eventually there. Because my bishop is doing absolutely nada here. If I take with the piece, of course, the knight can go here or anywhere. Well, to an extent. The pawn would, of course, keep their pawns restricted in the center. They need this guy. This would also keep my bishop open here, though. Decisions. Not an easy choice at all. And also I could take here with... Well, I think I'm eliminating taking with the bishop. That I like my bishop a lot. This is a bit unstable knight because it can be kicked by a lot of things. So I'm kind of leaning towards if I take with the knight, I'll take with this guy. Except maybe I want to take with this guy and keep this option open. Like I said, breaking decisions. So let's say it takes there, e5. I'll just take and stick the knight there. Looks pretty good. Of course, you can play e6. I'll chop. Nothing there yet. This is somehow very unpositional. So let's be really unpositional. Somehow I feel like it's playing against their bishop too, because it's not easy to get that out. And well, I don't know, at some specific time in the world, I might stick my knight here and open this up. Like at the moment, it could be a possibility. Not sure, like he's not gonna go for this. He's gonna just defend there and like maybe here and hits my pawn here and defends the weakness here. So here I'm leaning towards actually sticking my bishop here. Buying this square, but maybe I'm actually going here. Like if he goes here, I don't think I want to take. But I'm just trying to put the bishop here without actually having to like weaken things here. Get the diagonal without the downsides. Of course it's on the way a little bit and not sure this is a threat, but also maybe the knight is a bit stuck there. Alright, b5. I don't think it's bad. I'm gonna go here anyways though. I mean, I could stop it with a4, but the knight has so good squares there, we can't really ever kick it out. I'm gonna leave my pawns flexible and here and just ignore this. If it happens, it happens. What can you do? Maybe I should play actually h4. Try to cement my knight on f4. Especially now that I've taken the bishop off here. g5 might be more tempting to pull off. I don't know, then I probably sack the pawn. I mean, it's not really a pawn sack, but do this. Okay, he is preemptively getting out of dodge here. Makes sense. I'm really tempted to go here though. Really tempted. I don't know. It feels like I might lose the pawn here. Question mark. It's very isolated there. Very isolated there. Kind of solved their bad bishop problem, but I made a big bishop though. This is an instant threat. Can we justify this? I don't know. Somehow I thought I could maybe go here and try to get another bishop there, like unhinged bishops. Maybe I can go there and chop. There's just those annoying in-betweeners here and there. I have to, not here, but probably here. I probably have to take it and then he takes there and then we have a kind of dubious third triple pawn in the center there. I mean, I don't actually have to take here. I could probably go queen here. Let this go and then say that you can't really live with the queen and the bishop here. Well, it totally depends what he does on this side and about this. Maybe not so easy, actually. Not so easy. Queen here is a possibility, maybe, but Could maybe think about chop here. Or rook here. It's not the best square for the queen. Not sure I wanna give this up, but yeah, I don't know. Questionable. I mean, maybe could also think about the queens here. Just going for these guys. Yeah, I mean, at the moment it's semi-stable there. Okay, so I thought this is impossible because I win the b-pawn, which I could do, which I could definitely do. But, of course, he's gonna have something in the end. Assume he's gonna take with the rook. I'll chop here, and then he can go here, for instance, do some damage there and there. So that is, well, yeah, it's a actual problem, I suppose. It's an actual problem, I suppose. I like my bishop here. Yeah, I should have not been so superficial about rejecting this move. It's a good pawn sack, and it's not even a properly sack because you pretty much get it back. Right? Queen here though. So chop, chop. Rook can't go here. Queen could go here. But even there I could maybe go here and just defend everything. Well, this is a move well, of course there's gonna be a lot of pressure, like it's the dodgiest pawn I've taken all week. But if I don't, then how do we keep our pawn here? Whatever. I'll accept your premise. Pawn is a pawn. You have to somehow win it back. Okay, I did not notice that. Oh, but I'm defending that one too. Oh, he took with the pawn. Okay, that was really unexpected. But maybe but now he's gonna be left with them two isolated pawns. He might get this back now easier, but I mean, I guess it might be justified. Question mark, question mark, question mark. So takes. I probably have to take though. Well, we could chop here first and then take. And then he goes there anyways, and I have to find a square for my stinking bishop. Maybe here. I don't think there is any reason why would I bring this rook into the play by taking here first. Except the queens would be off. But I don't think I can play here and queen fb3. The pin, self-pinning there is pretty stupid, I would think. Can't really go here. Yeah, it's gonna be dodgy. It's gonna be dodgy for sure. I don't know, maybe here. Let him take here. I'll play rook here. The knight covers here. They have a rook on b2 though. And a pretty unhinged bishop there, but we're covering that. What else? I mean, I guess I could play queen b3. Think about taking here with the queen, question mark. But also maybe thinking about just sticking a rook on d4. Okay, we're covering these squares pretty well, I hope. So no knight jumps. Actually we can even go there, because discovered check. So we're on the rook. Is that good? I don't know. But it would win a piece if it takes here, right? Yeah, probably. So, I don't know. That is still hanging technically. It's still probably questionable, like if I take here is what are we gonna do with the rook b8 and this here. But I thought with the queen here I have more options of going for either one of these. Something, something. Alright, so they are not defending that. They are sidestepping the rooks here. True. Maybe they can play here. I'll say I'm still not taking here though. I'm gonna use this rook. I think this is gonna go here. Don't like maybe if he goes there, then I'll chop and at least the pawn is on the white squares. We could, for instance, chop goes here, go here, and take here. Of course, I have to maybe think about this too. At least it's a targeted pawn there, so maybe first this, just to get out of the knight jumps and this unhinged bishop. I mean, that is probably possible though. But everything is defended here. Something knight here. Plausible. Maybe I'll just kick it away. Well, that is definite. That also sidesteps that rook being hit here. So maybe good move. Maybe great move. We would get a big passed pawn with the check though. Bang, 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 but probably end of the road there. Could go here, inch closer. Could do this. We could bring the rook here. I think I'll bring the rook here. And with the intention of if he goes there, I might just snap it and hopefully we get to defend the knight with the pawn. Maybe. I understand there is all kind of in-betweeners here. But maybe those are fine. Maybe. I mean, of course I don't have to take it, but if it happens, I have to calculate that. At the moment, I think I might be able to snap it off. This is probably a move. Whereas we can take. But we can also maybe again go there and look at things. Guess he could play b6 and kind of defend everything and get out of here, and it's not bad. I mean, he never got his Dutch play here. I'm not even sure that's often a case with the Leningrad. I mean, I guess e5, f5. Something happens, yeah. But we kind of took care of that business. We still have this pawn here. We have to be... Now I can of course go here because the rook's already again here. Is the queen actually trapped now? Guess he has that square. Then I can take here though. Or here. So isn't this winning a piece? Check. And this is coming with check, so there is no in between garbage. I mean, there might be in between garbage somewhere, but I don't know. I don't want to calculate. Let's just go rook d7. Because he put the rook there where it's hit by the pawn. So I think takes wins a piece. Maybe. What is this? I don't know. At least I can at least take here and hope it's okay. There, and then we are still on this pawn, and of course I have the ridiculous double pawn there. I kind of hoped I would have something more here, but maybe I actually don't, because I do need the check. I do need to check though. Maybe this was the bait. A bait of the world. I mean, okay, it's not oh, there is a pin on the C file in the end though. So chop, 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 chop. He can play b5 and threatens this. Opponent offers a draw. Last time he did the same thing when he's in a worse position. I'm not gonna fight though. I'm on the pawn. If b5 I have to sidestep. Alright, he plays only b4, 6 though. Well, I think I'm getting out of dodge anyhows. Because he's not getting in here now instantly anyways. I don't know, it felt like a mistake on their part. Thought getting the rook to c2 would be a bit of a pain in something. I guess he has some problems on the back rank though. For sure. Should we fix our back rank problems? I can put the bishop here. Because he can't really leave the back rank to harass it. He has to go to b8. Is that pushing him to a better square? Who knows? I was thinking of going here, but of course we give him an option to jump the knight somewhere. But of course I can then take and maybe enter here and hope that the bishop is fine there, question mark. I mean, there is no way you can let me go here, and they have the knight block, but then this is something they have to worry about for the rest of their life. Okay, just play a fast move. I don't know if this is the best move, getting out of this diagonal, but it is a move for sure. Now we are getting in. Is it gonna lead us anywhere? Question. Probably not. Who knows? Let's go. It's not at the moment that 7th rank looks so great, but just denying the knight jumps here, for instance, where it could harass my pawn, which is still very vulnerable here. This, of course, would make me happy, fixing my pawns. We are up a pawn, but it's a bit of a questionable double pawn situation here. I don't know, maybe I could think about sacking this pawn for the e pawn. This might be some kind of threat. But at least we are squeezing the rook. The knight could go here, but then maybe here. They can try to trap my bishop there, but I don't know. Maybe it actually works, who knows. And of course you can chop there and make some room for the king. So this is not the actual problem. I guess the king always has room for there. Never mind. Bishop here. I don't know, maybe. Try to get the king around here. Okay, that's definitely a possibility. I'll go here. Not sure which is my square. Give him this square. But hopefully it's not the end of the world. I wonder if I'm getting trapped here if I start playing like an idiot here. Hopefully not. We'll see. We'll live on the edge. I have e3s always. And then I can always escape here, hopefully. But it's a bit on the risky side. I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to get there. I still think it's very scary for them to actually leave the back rank there. So we could go here. Also here. Or try to go for the B pawn. Well, whatever. Is this the square I'm supposed to be? Or was I supposed to go here and try to discourage the rook entries? I don't know. It seems like this is still very, very scary, but like let me go here and win the knight. Maybe, well, if he goes here, then he blocks the rook, of course, and maybe I'll just snap a pawn and be happy, except my trap there is I have this square. That is definitely a legal move, though. And he does make himself some squares there. Whatchamacallit? Let's go e3. Hopefully it does not die, but of course I can even take there and be fine. So here I was thinking here. Running out of squares for the bishop. Hopefully. Maybe indent this, still take there, take with the pawn here, and of course if knight takes, I'll take with the knight. Actually, that's also kind of questionable because the knight is completely stranded there. So I'm not sure that's two pieces for a rook situation at all, though. Knight here. I mean, of course I can move my rook here and be safe, but or just go in and say that my pieces are completely inefficient there. Not untrue, not untrue. The bishop moves, of course, but the knight is complete garbage until they move here and then I start to get out here. But that might be one of those situations where the rook is better than two pieces because it's actively hunting my pawns where mine are very awkwardly there. So I think if here, there, I might take here. No, I might go here. Actually, yeah, this forces me into that variation, but I might go here. Well, let's go. Expecting this. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Might go here though. And then he has still problems with that bishop. I'm not sure I'm threatening that move though. The rook moves in. I guess this is a check we have to do something about, but if he goes for the second rank, which at the moment doesn't look too hot either, then I can probably take and go here, and then he's gonna again have a lot of problems with that back rank and the knight. This is coming here to win it. So I don't think he can go rook out. And if he moves the bishop somewhere, I'm just gonna take a pawn. But what would be like a non-committal move? Can't really move the king because then I take here and there. The rook's not so well equipped to move anywhere. Like maybe here you'd cover this, but still big problems here. Hit my bishop, maybe. Alright, so here question will be, can I take this? I'll say yes. I don't care about this because I have a check and make some room for the rook. And it also already has room to move. There is something cooking here though on f2. I'm a little worried about. And he is probably trying to cook there. So let's go here boots. This might be a draw for in a sense that I'm not sure. I'm up few pawns. But we are going towards that stinking opposite called bishop's endgame. Whereas I have a huge passed pawn there. My other extra pawn is kind of stuck there. But if he somehow can blockade this one, maybe he can hold, question mark. Not sure if he takes here, which way am I gonna take it. Also, he doesn't actually have to take, he can maybe go just there. And the king comes here and defends the e7. Dash is true. I'll just move here. Defend this preemptively. And well, hope that there is gonna be some problems there and there. I don't know. Let's move around the move. Fast. Alright. Well, I like this kind of a pawn though. Of course, I guess now he can actually take and maybe come block. So I'll just take it. He has to be very careful with this guy for the rest of the game. But maybe it is fair. Okay, here. Okay, my opponent missed that they could have taken here and defended their bishop. Huge mistake. Pardon my stupidity. I wanted to go here and here, but I somehow failed to understand that I'm already in is that winning though? It might not be winning. Well, he also does have I have all my pawns on them dark squares, so a bit unhinged here. This can die, of course, at some point. I can't do much about it. But this is a construct he has a hard time getting out of. Very hard time getting out of. Oh, can I squeeze him here with check? Guess this is the only move. He's not threatening anything at the moment, so we can do anything we want. So I'll try to bring my king into the play. F3 was a possibility though. He's really trying to kill himself though, but maybe it's fine. He's still not threatening anything. I guess he's kind of looking here, but he can't really take it. So I'm just gonna bring this guy here. Can't take because the bishop is on the rook. He's completely like the only thing that moves are like some pawns and the king. I guess the bishop can spam here and here. At some point I might throw in this move here, I don't know. Let's make him a weakness here. I might win the e-pawn. Then, oh, well, I guess we did not win the e-pawn. I make some hopeful targets here. I guess the bishop is pretty well here, but now I have a passed pawn here, which might just walk through. Still can't take there, here, or here. Rook can't move anywhere here. It's a kind of miserable existence. What he's gonna do? My plan is just to push the e-pawn forward. My plan is just to move the e-pawn forward. I guess that is legal move. But now if he goes back, I'll have a check and the bishop dies, right? You know, it doesn't have this square anymore. No, it's not gonna be a stalemate, sadly. It's not gonna be a stalemate, my friend. it's going to be checkmate. Yeah, that was kind of fun. Let's look at from the top. That was kind of fun. Sometimes I play, hopefully, like in a way that I enjoy. Most of the games are trash that are not worth publishing, but I had at least some guts to go with the kind of weird ideas. I don't know how weird this idea is actually. Let's see. It is not that weird at all. D5 is the only move that has been played here by master database. And then he played A5, but most people here play E5. And then we transpose into some kind of a Leningrad Dutch theory, Kasparov Gurevich. Okay, see? So if we take here, queen goes here, and then he wins this back, and castles, bishop takes, knight takes. The bishop is kind of trashy piece anyways. This might be a little weak. White has the bishop pair. Let's see what Mr. Machine thinks of this. Actually kind of big advantage. Well, this has to count for something. So he played a5. Now we are completely out of theory. Okay, some people have played h4 here. I thought about that afterwards, but that makes sense. This was surprisingly a good idea. I did kind of expect this guy to start roaming around and maybe push all the way to b4 though. And I was not at all sure that I have any kind of a funny business here. Question mark. Like, I don't think this is gonna do much, maybe. I mean, the bishops are pretty freaking horrible though. I just remembered I did hang the pawn at some point in that game though. Makes it unclean. Yeah, I don't know. b5 looked like a plan. Where am I gonna stick this guy? I was gonna like go here and be. Hopefully it's all fine, but he maybe can play rook c8 and stick the knight here. Something. Alright, he goes rook c8 first. Then I jumped here. I thought, yeah, this is gonna be a little unhinged here. How do you cover that? Knight c5, good. Bad. What would have Mr. Machine done here? I knew this was a risky move, but I saw some ideas and it was not super obvious to me that he can actually get the pawn back. Of course, I thought like, even if he doesn't get it, he's gonna have some kind of a like a Penko Gambit style pressure. The bishop is unhinged here and the rooks could always come here, and I did not really expect hold on into the pawn long term. So what would the machine do here? Rook b1. No. Rook c1 makes sense. e3. Sure, maybe. Why not? Normal moves. Chop. Chop. Alright, so this... Then I didn't even take it. Because... Well, this one I figured I can... Well, I don't... To be honest, I didn't even see that this idiot is hanging here, but... No, I didn't... Okay, I didn't even calculate him taking this way. I expected this to happen, and then the rook would not be here. And here I was thinking that if he goes here, maybe I can play here and be fine. Like, my pawns are not the best in the world, but we have something here and... Well, to be honest, do we actually have anything here? Probably not. I mean, this could be one of those things where things just escalate and I'll die eventually, like everything collapses. Even the computer says we are somehow fine here, but who knows? Just let this go, because why not? Even? I don't know. I would think black's better. Yeah, I thought this looked a little strange to me. Still did not want to take here because of this, and then I let the rook in, and he has weak pawns. But can I accept them or access them? Looked murky, and the self-pinning looked suicidal here, so decided no. Also probably queen c7 instantly wins. Yeah. Horrible. Sidestepping here. This is fine. Adding pressure here. I thought, yeah, probably if here I can just chop it and hopefully have the a5 in time. Computer says yes. No c5s, no a5s. Yeah. This felt like it's a wrong move, but maybe it's fine. I didn't really pay attention. I saw that that's a possibility and I can bail out if needed, so I don't lose anything here, and it is the only move here. Rook takes here. C takes here. Rook takes. Oh, why didn't I even look at the rook takes e7? Yikes. Well, this would look a little bit suspicious to me though. But this is here, maybe our back rank is fine and this could go here, but we have a huge pawn on e6 still. This gives away all the advantage. Chop. Piece. Yeah, I did think a b5 looked better. With the idea you're threatening this. I mean, of course I can still do this, so it's not winning threat, but I expected this to happen, knight goes somewhere, and then you swim in, except you dive if you do. And the back rank is so weak with these guys. So they have to prep somehow here. Random h5, make some room. Still looks a bit shaky, but at least the knight is kind of covering some squares. But here I thought this does not let him get ever in here. Or at least it's a lot slower. He's trying to get here, or just covers these. Okay, apparently bad idea. I was not sure that this does anything anyways. Except it's kind of, well, it did that one thing. It got the rook off the c file. There. Everything is even Steven. Computer wants to take here, which seems insane. Fixing my pawns, but something. Up a pawn, computer says, no, that's nothing. Get out. Fine. Yeah, I don't think anybody would go there though. How can you justify that move in a human mind? Yeah, his problem is that the back rank is so terrible. I still can't really get the rook doing stuff here without getting into a lot of trouble here. So that was a good move, clearing the g7, except computer says apparently not. What's the winning move here? Rook d7 now. Oh. A fork, because you can't take, because you can't stop this guy. Okay, missed opportunity. Yikes. Because I was looking at this at few points where, well, maybe later on, I get these points. Many points here, I was thinking of sticking it here, and like he can't take it without letting the pawn go through. But now it's getting into that danger territory. And yeah, then he takes here, which is a big mistake. Well, I guess he thought that he can have a fortress here, that I'm up few pawns. One of them is useless double here, but the one is so big here. So big, so. But he figured he can somehow hold this. Okay, yeah, this was a horrible blunder though. I missed that he can take here now and defend this. That would have been an easy draw. I wanted to get this and this around here, but I did that in a wrong order. Of course, I probably couldn't do it in my order like here, because then he's in time to get the king somewhere around here. Guess this has to go here. And maybe we can still think about getting this around here. I don't know, actually, can I get here? It's such a nice setup though, with the where it tied down all his pieces to, like the king to the bishop and the bishop to the rook and the rooks to the pawn, and nobody was moving, and it was so much fun. At least for me. Alright, so here I'm just winning. I was not 100% sure, but I felt like I can pretty freely do whatever I want. I just hope that whatever I want is enough. Yeah, I don't know, maybe he should just somehow ignore this, and because now this comes, if after he takes, at least my plan is super easy now. I thought maybe he can get here and at least block this. And I can't really check without dropping that here. I mean, of course, I could also maybe push here, and in a sense that eventually he will run out of moves. King can't move. I mean, it can now move here, but then I have the same threat as in the game, winning the bishop. He has few pawn moves, but we pretty much can pick up everybody except this one, like play h3, Zugzwang. Now the bishop can't move, the king can't move, the rook can't move. This pawn can sack itself here, but then he's out of moves. Horrible. Chop chop. But yeah, this is this way I can get to win easy, and he has way too many pawns that there could even be a dream of some kind of a stalemate here. Yikes. Okay, there was that one horrible blunder. What can you do? Yeah, this here, horrible. And my opponent trusted me and played here. Horrible. Anyways, that was fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time.